And we are live. What's good, Josh? Your man, DL Saint. Welcome to DL Saint. I really want to know podcast. How y'all doing? Happy Monday. Hope all is well. Hope you had a good weekend. I hope you guys had a good weekend. I know I had it. You know, my weekends are all the same. It is what it is. They're fun. I mean, there's nothing good or bad to report about it. It's the weekend. You know what I mean? It's just the weekend. Yeah, man. Here we are, Monday. Start another week. 2023 is just blowing by, y'all. We're already more than a month in. Think about that. We're almost a month and a half in already. Whatever you out there doing, I hope you're getting at it right now. It is what it is. We got Brother Michael in the house. What's good, fam? How you doing? Shout out to you. I see you. Appreciate the support. Always here. Day one and number one on this episode, man. What's good, man? I hope all is well on your end. This episode should be a quick one, man, for real, because what we're talking about, I've often been, I get asked this question a lot when I'm out there in the trenches. You know what I mean? The old soldier out there, I get asked this question a lot, man. You know what I mean? Like, how do you talk to a dime? What's a dime? A dime is a 10. How do you talk to a beautiful woman? Guys come up and they really want to know, like, man, what's the secret? What's the cheat code? You know what I mean? And this is going to be a real quick episode because the answer is simple. You talk to a 10 the same way you talk to you're going to talk to an 8, 9, or 10. It's the same way you talk to a 4, 5, or 6. Nothing changes. It's the same. There you go. Voila. Poof. Didn't even have to wait to the end of the episode to get the answer to your question. You know what I mean? You just got to go talk to her, and you talk to her the same way you talk to anyone else. So what does that mean? That means you have to get your social skills up. Get your social skills up, man. You know what I mean? Fresh and Fit says this all the time on their platform. I think it's Fresh and Fit. Maybe it's Rolo. I can't remember. But if you treat her like a star, she's going to treat you like a fan. That's how it works. It's real simple. And then when you really break it down, when you start getting into it, you know what I mean? When it comes to this sort of thing, there's not much difference between a 1 and a 10 when it comes to women because, women are very emotional. They're very, you know what I mean? They have, they rely on their support system, their girls, their family, their crew, whatever. They rely on that. They rely on the herd. You know what I mean? That's what they rely on. Look at Brother Mike like, darn, that's the end, especially, bro. I should have, right off rip, that's how you do it. How do you talk to women the same way how you talk to a 8, 9, or 10, the same way you talk to a 4, 5, 6.
Darn, that's the end.
That's exactly how you do it. That's exactly how I do it. It is what it is, y'all. Sister Lady Novoa's in the house. What's good, love? Always a pleasure to see you. How you feeling? You know what I mean? I know you've been going through a lot with family and everything. And, I ain't going to lie to you. I'm not even a praying type, but I had to, you know what I mean? You're never far from my thoughts. I'm always thinking about you and your family. I hope all is well. You know what I mean? I hope you guys are moving forward and getting through it. And again, love, thank you so much for all your support. I really do appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, it's, gentlemen, it's not hard. The problem comes in when you have these guys who, they just don't have the social skills for whatever reason. And I ain't gonna lie to you, most men are like most people in the West, right? Or really around the world, especially in the West, though. Like in Western nations, most developed nations, that Disney fairy tale, it's a thing, yo. It's a real thing. And then there she is, you're a princess, and you're gonna be the prince, and you immediately begin to treat her differently. You immediately go and be, into super gentleman mode. You know what I mean? It might work for you, but probably won't. You just need to be yourself, man. You just need to be yourself. Why? Why do I say that? Yeah, because I got a bunch of bullet points here, but the last bullet point I wrote down, women want what they want, period. Women want what they want. You know what I mean? I don't care where they are on that scale. They want what they want. And everyone's gone through it. I know I've gone through it a bunch of times. You see a woman and it's just like, oh, this is her. This is the one. I'm going to go in and be super ultra smooth. I'm going to be the perfect gentleman. I'm going to do all these things. right? I'm gonna wine and dine her and show up with roses and all that, bro. You don't have to do all that, man. I mean, honestly, you do not have to do all that, especially if she's into you. You know what I mean? Like if you come up and you're just genuine and you're you, and you know right away if she's into you, man. She's already made up her mind about you within moments after meeting you. So it is what it is, man. You can't go up to starry-eyed and, you know what I mean? Don't do that. Don't do that. You wouldn't do that if you went talking to a 4 or 5 or a 6. You don't do that. So why would you do that to her? She's another woman. You know what I mean? She really can't help her beauty. It's not like she goes to the beauty gym and works on it, right? It's given to her. She's just beautiful. She's just beautiful. And, you know, sitting here talking about it a lot of times, like, you know, dealing with beautiful women is like dealing with movie stars, dealing with rock stars. You know what I mean? I guess now content creators. They gravitate towards the people who treat them like everyone else. That's what they desire most. They want to sit down and have a conversation with someone that doesn't know them. Right? That's just keeping it 100. That's what they're going for. If you want to run a game, run that one. If you see a woman that you know that's a, you know, celebrity or something like that, if you want to run some game, run that I don't know who you are game, but it better be sincere because she's expecting you to know who she is. Sister Candace is in the building. What's in the building? What's good, sis? Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hope all is well. You know what I mean? I hope all is well. It's always a pleasure to see you. Yeah, I mean, that's what you gotta treat people the way you want to be treated. Treat beautiful women the same way you treat everybody else. You will get better results. You'll get better results. I'm not lying about the way that the celebrities feel, bro. I got so many stories. As a matter of fact, I got a story right now.
Everybody
here we go.
Sit down, please. It's story time. It's story time.
I don't think I told this one yet. This is one of the LA stories. You know, I got a bunch of them. I don't think I've told this one yet. Maybe I have. I don't know. If I have, you're going to hear it again. Right? So sit back. You ready? Here you go. I was outside of the Laugh Factory in Hollywood. It's on Sunset, real close to Crescent Heights. I can't remember what year this was, but this was the early 2000s. The early 2000s. I'm out there still like doing my open mics, being on the scene. As a comedian, you know, you got to be at all the spots. So I was at the Comedy Store. I would go to the Improv. I was at the Laugh Factory, and this was just outside the Laugh Factory, this story right here. The Ice House. Much later when Flappers came about in Burbank, I was there. Just everywhere. Every spot you can, you know what I mean? You just got to keep your face on the scene. People would know you, whatever. So I was making my rounds. I was in front of the Laugh Factory in Hollywood, and I see this woman standing there. Now, the Laugh Factory, they ran shows, you know, it's a small house. So they would run a show and then everyone gets out and then they, you know, the other crowd is waiting and they, you know, they got to let the other crowd in. Yo, my cousin is calling me. Hold on one second. Yo, I hate to break this story up. Hey, yo, I'm live right now. Can I call you back? All right, call you back. See how fast that is? My own cousin, I could tell she ain't watching my content. See how family do you? See how family do you? So, I'm outside of the Laugh Factory. All right. And I see this woman. It's very attractive. She had like not a grungy look, but you know, that kind of like she's from the East Village kind of thing. You know what I mean? She had that kind of loose fitting clothes, baggy jeans, kind of baggy. She was wearing a Ramones shirt. I think she was wearing a t-shirt. You know, they said the Ramones. Old school military style, like overcoat kind of jacket, you know what I mean? Cause it was, you know, it was like wintertime for California. It wasn't cold, but you know, it was, you know, 50s. And she's kind of standing by herself, right? So she's kind of standing here and her friends are just a few paces off or whatever. And she's just kind of standing there, right? And the crowd had just like dissipated. So all the people who were going into the show went in and all the people who were done with the previous show were like in their cars or whatever, and you know, like the valet was clear and all that, right? So I see this woman now, she's kind of attractive. Didn't have a lot of makeup on, and I, you know, I'm not a big makeup guy. She didn't have a lot of makeup on. She was just wearing, you know, maybe some lip gloss, no blush or nothing like that. I'm just like, yo, that's what I'm talking about. Had a hat on, like a communist style Cuban, like a communist kind of hat, you know what I mean? Like the kind of floppy ones with the red star on it, something like that. So I'm like, you know, I walk up to her and I'm like, yo, how you doing? You know what I mean? And she's, you know, she said hello. And I'm just talking to her. Like, this is just me looking for a conversation. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, you know, I see you outside. Like, did you check out the show? She was like, yeah. You know, I wasn't in that show she was in. I was walking up for the next show. And I'm like, oh, you know, how was it? Because I'm thinking about going in. And she's like, oh, you know, it wasn't bad. So-and-so was funny, da-da-da. I'm like, oh, man, you seem real cool. What's your name? She's like, my name's Rosario. I'm like, Rosario? I'm like, I've never met a Rosario before. That's what's up. You know what I mean? I told her, hey, my name is Don. Shook my hand. She was like, now she's looking at me funny. Like she's got that, is this dude for real look on her face, right? So I'm like listening to her accent. I'm looking at her like I smile or whatever. I'm like, yo, I was like, yo, what's up with your look? You know what I mean? I'm just kind of laughing. I'm like, yo, I'm from the Midwest, man. You know, I'm not from LA. I just want to start right there. You know what I mean? I hear your accent, like sound like you from New York. You look like you from the East Village. Yeah, I don't know much about New York, but I know about the Village. And she was like, yeah, I've been there, you know what I mean? Yeah. You know, we just whatever. So this look she had on her face starts to dissipate because I'm like, I've never met a Rosario before. Like, that's cool. You know, we were blah, blah, blah. Now the look went away. Now she just into the conversation. We were talking about like her Ramon shirt. We was talking about, you know, music. You know what I mean? Real quick, started talking about spoken word. I'm like, so what are you doing in LA? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this ain't your soil. You sound New York, shorty. And she was like, you know, I'm making fun of her. I'm saying son a lot. I'm just doing my thing, right? Just talking crazy. She's talking crazy back, doing my thing. And her friends start to like, okay, now her friends are like, what's going on? They're ready to go. We must have been talking for 10 or 15 minutes, and her friends are like ready to go. But, you know, we're both, me and Rosario, we enjoying this conversation. You know what I mean? I said, you know, I was like, yo, this was a good encounter. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure I see you around. I know you probably be around here. You know what I mean? Especially if you like comedy. And I was telling her where to go check out some spoken word joints. Like, well, hey, you might want to go over to Genghis Coin, or you might want to go over to Lucy Florence, was big back then. Like, you might want to go over to Lucy Florence on Melrose. It's a cool little joint. She's like, I never heard of it. I'm like, yo, check it out. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of black artists, and it's like spoken word is fire. You know, I didn't say fire. Of course, the slang was a little different back then, but what, you get the point, right? So I'm hollering at her. You know what I mean? She was like, cool. Her friends now are like, one girl's like literally trying to like, come on, girl. And I was like, look, I want to keep you. I see your friends are ready to go. You know what I mean? Because she didn't want to stop talking, but I'm like, I see your friends are ready to go. So you know what? It was absolutely a pleasure meeting you. You know what I'm saying? I hope I run into you again. You know what I mean? You take care. And then they walk off, right? So one of my dudes had walked up. One of the other comics had walked up and he saw me talking, so he's like, can't step back, whatever. When she walked up, he was like, walked up to me like, I see you, bro. I see you. I'm like, come on, man. This is what I do, man. I always holler at people. He was like, yeah, but that's Rosario Dawson. I'm like, what? The actress? He's like, yeah, bro, she was inside the thing. That's it. Look on the marquee. They got her name up there. She was in here for something. Oh, okay. I didn't know. I was talking to her like I talked to everybody else. You know what I mean? And I was like, man, maybe I should have tried to get her number. I didn't even try to get her number. Like, the conversation was so good, I didn't even want to have to deal with the rest of it. And I didn't really care. I was just like, whatever. You know what I mean? Obviously, you're dime. And when I thought back on that conversation, we did talk about Star Trek a little bit, and she is fluent in Klingon, which is a language that was created for characters in this sci-fi world. They've actually created a language. She speaks fluent Klingon, which is funny because we were talking about some sci-fi stuff, and I want to say Battlestar Galactica was out back then. This was like the Ronald D. Moore one. So we was talking about Battlestar Galactica. We touched on Star Wars just a bit, and she realized I did not recognize her. And I mean, she enjoyed that conversation more than me. You know what I'm saying? And like I should have hollered at her. I didn't, but as far as getting her number, I didn't, but I really didn't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I see dimes all the time. But after the fact, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm like, man, that was my shot.
You big dummy.
Should have got the number, right? Should have got the number. But that whole story revolves around one thing. I talk to everyone the same. And I'm not out there like that in Hollywood, in New York, in Miami, in Atlanta, in DC. It doesn't matter to me who you are. In fact, if I recognize you, I probably won't even approach. But if I do recognize you and you are in my orbit, I'm gonna say let's say I bump into somebody and I know who they are, I'll tell them like I respect their work. If I do, like, yo, I really respect your work. If I do respect their work. If I don't respect their work, y'all be like, yeah, I know who you are. And that's it. And then move on to, oh, nice shoes, or look at your nails. I don't even want to talk about your work if I don't respect it, because that could turn into a thing. But the point is, I go the same way, man. I don't care. I don't care if she's a 3. I don't care if she's a 10. I'm going to talk to you the same. That's how you get on, fellas. And I'm sure it's way different for women. I don't know. You know what I mean? We got brother Viking Paradigm in the house. What's good, brother? How you feeling? I ain't seen you in a minute. Good to see you. Car brother in the house. What's good, man? How you feeling, bro? Good to see you as well. Thanks for subbing, man. Thanks for jumping on board, man. We got people who are following this, man, coming from everywhere, and I appreciate y'all, man. Go where some men have gone before, bro. All men have gone before, man. I'm here to tell you that, man. I don't care who they are. And yeah, that's kind of funny. To go where no man has gone before. Well, some may have. I get you on that, bro. But I ain't gonna lie to you, man. That was one of the best conversations I've ever had in LA. Talking to an A-lister. And I think the reason she was looking at me so crazy is because that movie she did, the cartoon-like movie, I forget, Bruce Willis did it. It was Bruce Willis and the girl who did Dark Angel, can't remember her name. But Rosario Dawson was in that movie. It was like a cartoon kind of throwback to the 1930s, 40s era type thing. I can't remember the name of the movie, man. Somebody in the chat know what I'm talking about. She had recently done that movie. I think that's why she was looking at me like, is this dude trying to run some sort of game? And the moment she realized I didn't recognize her, man, you could tell she was really enjoying that moment. And that's where y'all got to be with it, fellas. No matter who you dealing with, that's how you got to be with it, man. So yeah, the way I go at people, it's the same no matter what, right? So you got to get your skills up. You got to know how to approach folks, not just women. You got to know how to approach folks. So that's the first thing. We go up to a woman, you see a dime, that's how you treat it. Go up to her. If you approach and she shoots you down, don't get mad. If she's around her friends, she's probably gonna shoot you down. Don't be mad. You know what I mean? Just kind of walk away the same way you approach, with your head held high. Hey, nice talking to you, love. Take care. You know what I mean? Don't run up and like, can I buy you a drink? Everybody's buying her a drink. So you ain't got to ride. You know what I mean? You ain't got to run up and buy her a drink. You know what I mean? So again, people are like, well, that's just being cordial. That's not leading with your wallet. It kind of is. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Depends on your technique, man. I mean, a drink is harmless. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't care if I had a conversation first. If the conversation's cool, then I'll get a drink. Or if we dance, if I take a lot of your time and we kind of dance around a little bit, I'll offer to get you a drink. But I'm not just gonna walk up and like, yo, let me get you a drink. I'm not gonna do that. And if I walk up to a woman and she's like, well, you can buy me a drink, I walk away. Oh, hey, it was nice. Yeah, it was nice talking to you, but I walk away. I bail out. Like, you asking me for a drink? Nah. Nah. Just walk away. And that's not, when you're talking to, again, you talk to them the same way. If a woman that I don't find that attractive asks me to buy her a drink and there's no conversation, there's nothing to her, there's no substance to her, why would I do it? Now, if I'm not going to buy a drink for the dime, I'm certainly not going to buy the drink for the 5. You know what I mean? But it's just one of those things. I treat them the same. I treat them the same. Sister Rosalind's in the house. I see you, shorty. How you feeling? I see you grinding on your platform. Hey, y'all, for real, take a moment, go over there and support Sister Rosalind, man. She's over there doing her thing. You got a wrench, love, so drop your page in the chat for everyone to jump over and support you, my dear. Keep doing the work, because I know how hard it is, man. This YouTube stuff ain't no joke. So yeah, man, and when dudes come up to me, it's mostly younger guys. Some older dudes come up to me, right? Strangers. Sometimes they just see me moving around, be at a lounge or at some event or whatever, and they'll see, that I'm talking, whatever, and they're like, you know her? Like, nah, I just met her, whatever. And they, again, they ask the questions like, man, how do you do it? What's your secret? It's no real secret, man. I just go up and say hi. But these dudes, when they say man, I would love to be able to talk to a beautiful woman like that, I'm like, bro, do you really want a dime? Do you really want a 10? I mean, most guys don't think about it. Like, do you really want that kind of smoke? Right? Because you're dealing with a woman who everyone is gunning at. Like, do you really want that? You know what I mean? Like, that's the first thing I ask. I'm like, bro, for real. Like, what is it about? Do you really want this? You know what I mean? Like, truly want this? And I go, yeah. And I'm like, all right. You know what I mean? Like, are you jealous? Are you the jealous type? What do you mean? Because wherever your woman goes, somebody gonna be talking to her. Bro, and they don't care if you with her. They don't care. They know you with her. And they looking at you like, man, he ain't nothing. They gonna still gun at your woman. Are you cool with that? Right? Are you in a position where, you know, you and her can live off of one income? Otherwise, she's gonna have to go to work, and everybody at work trying to get at her. And I don't care, man. Women. If you're a beautiful woman, even if you're not like drop dead gorgeous or whatever, use that to get ahead. There's so many women out there like, I don't use my beauty. Like, why not? Like, why not? It's player versus player out there. If you can use that to your advantage, do it. I'm not saying go out there and smash dudes for a promotion. I'm not saying that. But I'm absolutely okay with, you know, you might want to flirt a little bit, bat your eyes a little bit, look, you know, dress. You know what I mean? You don't have to put on a 304 outfit, but you know how to look good and still be classy. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? You see these guys, you know, looking at you out the corner of their eye, rather make comment, you know what I mean? Like, hey, you know, it's cool, whatever. However it is y'all flirt, ladies. I don't know how y'all do it. However it is y'all flirt. I don't see anything wrong with that. Use that to your advantage. But I tell these dudes, like, man, are you sure that's what you want? You know what I mean? Dealing with the 8s, 9s, and the 10s, bro. You know what I'm saying? They can be divas, man. They want. They're going to want things, man. They're being offered stuff. Now, again, it goes back to when it comes to men, women, you know, if you're what she wants, she's going to holler at you, bro. She ain't worried about all that. But trust me, everybody's gunning at her. Everybody. Like we used to say in the Army, man, lottie-dottie, everybody gunning at her. So are you ready for that? You know what I mean? Are you secure enough with yourself to deal with that? Most guys aren't. Just keep it 100. Most guys aren't. And that the guy will mess up the relationship with the dime. Right? Because he doesn't believe in himself. And he'll start accusing her of stuff and acting a certain way, and then she'll get tired of it. Mind you, she's got all these dudes in her ear, top tier dudes with more stuff than her guy. You know what I mean? She's only gonna say no so many times to an invitation to, you know, to the yacht party. She's only gonna say no to so many times to the invitation to jump on the jet, you know, and scoot over to San Diego or San Francisco or whatever. She's only gonna say no so many times if you giving her a hard time. So, man, that's one of those things I tell dudes, man, like, are you really ready for it? Is that what you want? Truly? Is that truly what you want? Because it comes with problems. And then there's always going to be a dude from her past that's going to pop up. It's going to be a top tier dude. He going to see her again like, oh, why'd I let you go? It's a wrap. Right? And if you got low self-esteem, bro, you don't want to mess with a dime. You don't want to mess with a dime. So, you know what I mean? So how do you talk to him? Like we said, man, like you talk to everybody else. It's real, real simple, right? Do you really want a dime? Are you ready for that life? You got to ask yourself that. You know what I mean? When you go after a beautiful woman, man, like when you pursue a beautiful woman or any woman really for that matter, how do you think it's going to play out? Have you given thought to how this is going to play out? You know what I mean? Like, honestly, have you? Are you vetting her, or are you just happy to bask in her glory? Are you just happy to be there? Are you just happy that she's coming over giving you time? Are you going to pedestalize her? Right? Because red pill dudes do this all the time. Hardcore red pill guys, I see it all the time. As soon as they get themselves a woman, and if she's a baddie, they forget all the red pill tenants. All that stuff's out the window. They don't care about hypergamy anymore. They don't care about female dating strategy anymore. They don't think about alpha, C, beta needs, none of that. They don't care about the Rational Male book, Rollo Tomasi's book. They don't care about Rich Cooper's book, Unplugged Alpha. All that's out the window. Right? It is so funny. Like the instant they get themselves, and these women, I ain't gonna lie to you, like these women be like 6s and 7s. And these guys be going crazy. There's one dude was like, yo, man, I got this baddie, bro. Wait till she come out here, I'm gonna show her. And then he'll like, there she is right there. I'm like, what, behind the blonde? No, she is the blonde. I'm like, oh, bro. Like, okay. Obviously, we have two different scales. That's your dime? Okay. And then all the red pill stuff goes out the window, right? He doesn't hang out with his buddies anymore. He's right in there doing what he wants to do. And I say this all the time, like these dudes, the bottom 80 dudes, they really just want themselves a woman. That's all they really want. They want a woman to come home to, a woman they can work hard for and all that. But they forget about hypergamy. They forget about women wanting the best. Again, if you are what she wants, if she truly loves, honors, and respects you, she's not gonna look at another woman. I was listening to Mel King, I think this was Friday or Saturday, last Friday or Saturday. I think it was Saturday. And she said that. She was like, when I have a man, like, this is my man, this is my husband, because Mel King said she's getting married this year, y'all. So sorry for all you simpletons out there who think you got a shot at her. She said she's getting married this year. She said, I haven't met my husband yet, but I'm getting married this year. If you think you got what it takes, go over there and holler at Mel King. Go over there. I think she'll be on tonight. And she's filling her calendar up now. She's taking personal counseling sessions. I don't know what her rates are. I need to ask her. I don't know what her rates are. Maybe I can I'll ask her next time I talk to her and get a rate sheet and let y'all know. If y'all want to take your shot at Melanie King, this is the year to do it, bro. She said she's getting married this year. But she said this. She was like, if I'm with the man that I want to be with, she was like, all other men disgust me. I don't see other men where we go. And this is what the red pill talks about all the time. All the time. If a woman is into you, she love, honors, and respects you, she don't see other men. There's nothing any other man can do. It doesn't matter how much money he makes. It doesn't matter what kind of title he has. It doesn't matter how handsome he is. It doesn't matter how shredded he is. If she's into you, you are her guy, she ain't looking at nobody else. And let's keep it 100. Mel King is a very beautiful woman. I mean, she's very beautiful. I mean, she's in her 40s, and she's still very, very, very attractive. And she's like, I don't see any other dudes. Shout out to her. You know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, Mel, I ain't mad. My brother, Jay Swans, his wife, she doesn't see any other dudes. She thinks other dudes are she's like, oh, they're disgusting. She doesn't see them. She does not see them. She has the man she wants. They've been together for over 2 decades. They've raised 2 extremely sharp men. Right? They have done their jobs. You know what I mean? So she doesn't look at other dudes. It disgusts her. You know what I mean? So this is something, again, don't lose track of these, these little gems that's been dropped throughout, the red pill space and, you know what I mean, in just the regular world. But these guys, they do every time they meet a girl and they just forget about all that stuff. They treat her like a star. She treats them like a fan. They pedestalize them. They do all this stuff. They get one-nighters. They don't, you know what I mean? They don't vet. They don't vet. They 30, 60, 90 days in. They want to get married. This is what happens all the time. If they do that with 6s and 7s, they do that with dimes. They don't know that they're getting ran through. I just did a video about a man from Texas who went to Colombia, fell in love with a woman, and he deleted her in one of the most horrific ways possible. Knew her for 30 days and was trying to marry her, was sending her tens of thousands of dollars. You know what I mean? And he didn't realize what was going on. This woman was so beautiful. I feel so bad. We're going to do a follow-up to that. I was talking to my buddy Perry Davis Jr. out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Shout out to Perry. If you guys need legal advice or legal attorney and you're in the Cincinnati area, holler at my man Perry Davis Jr. And Perry has even more information that I wasn't aware of. So we're going to come on Wednesday. We're going to get together Wednesday. I'm going to make the thumbnail tonight. And we're going to do a follow-up on that because that story is just so tragic. I feel so bad for that young woman and her family. This monster from Texas, this American monster went down there and just did these things to her. But all right, I'm out. Let me get back on track. But that was a beautiful woman. That was a dude who ran after this beautiful woman, and he got wrecked. And he took her. He deleted her. Right? Because this dude didn't know anything about how it works. He didn't know how it works here in America. He certainly doesn't know how it works in Colombia. It ain't personal. That's how they get down. Every realm is different. If you're going to Thailand, or if you're going to the Philippines, you're going to Colombia, you're going to Brazil, right? If you're going to Eastern Europe, you need to understand how it works there. Understand the rules of engagement, right? And the game's the same. Only thing changed about game is the players involved, but the game does not change. Only the players do. Shout out to Dose of Game. I'm trying to get that brother on this platform, man. That dude, he be dropping some gems over there. A Dose of Game, man. He talks about that playerdom, that player role. Again, I'm not a player, y'all. I'm just really good at what I do, but I am not a player. You know what I'm saying? Afro Shinobi, what's good? What's up with you, baby? How you feeling? Good to see you. Brother Mark is also in the house. Good to see you, man. You know what I mean? Afro Shinobi, as it should be. Viking Paradigm. And most dudes, even RP guys, are BJ away from going back. Yes, they are. Not even now. I mean, she just touched Mr. No. She just touched that little thing. She just touched it. And he in love. He drops all of it out the window. All of it out the window. And it just goes to show, man, like the bottom 80 really, most dudes in America, most of the guys I've come across in America, they really just want a woman. That's it. She don't have to be a dime. You know what I mean? Of course, they wish they could get one, but she didn't have to be a dime, man. They cool with 5s and 6, 4s. They're cool with that. They just want a woman to come home to. That's it. That's all they really want. They hear the message in the red pill world, but they don't accept it. They don't want to make themselves the best version of themselves. They don't want to go out there and chase excellence. They want to chase women. And that's another thing too, y'all. Men. And I bring this up all the time. Either you're going to chase excellence or you're going to chase women. You can't do both effectively. You can't. Chasing women requires a lot of time, resources, and attention. Attention to your detail. You know, spinning plates, running a rotation, all that kind of stuff, getting your game up and all that. That takes a lot of work, gentlemen. You can do that. Or you can put those resources, the time, the energy, and the effort into yourself. You can better yourself. Aaron Clarey has a book. It's called The Book of Numbers. Let me pick it up real quick. The Book of Numbers, y'all. This is Aaron Clarey. Amazon, go get this book. Go get this book. He talks about the money that men invest chasing women. When you look at the numbers, gentlemen, it will blow your mind. And most guys tend to spend more depending on the woman that they're chasing, right? They're chasing that 10. They're definitely going to come out and lead with their wallet to the extent where I'm going to be the perfect gentleman. I'm not just going to take her to my favorite bar or my favorite taco stand. No. I'm going to take her to Nobu. Right. I'm going to take her to Fig and Olive. I'm going to take her to STK. Right. And that's not even a life you live. And here's the thing. When you're talking to a beautiful woman, she's used to that. She's used to it. Right. Andrew Tate said this a long time. Shout out to Andrew Tate, man. I hope him and his brother get out soon. But Andrew Tate said the money really is just a qualifier. The women don't necessarily care that you have X. They don't ask you how much money you have. They might ask you what you do and try to figure it out. But the money is a qualifier. Of course, if she's going to deal with you, of course, you're going to be able to take her to a nice hotel. Of course, you're going to be able to pay for a vacation. Of course, you're going to be able to get a bottle somewhere. 8, 9s, and 10s, they're used to that. Of course. Right? So, but if you're dealing with them, what are they not used to? They're not used to the real. They're not used to a guy saying, hey, come on, you coming with me. I'm going to take you to my favorite, you know what I mean, hole in the wall bar over here and do some karaoke and eat some tacos or something like that And I'm here to tell you, gentlemen, that'll get you a lot further than taking her to STK. Right? She's not used to hearing, oh, let's go meet for coffee. What? You're just going to take me to coffee? Okay, I'll pass. Fine, pass. But it's going to be messing with her. Like, this dude, she'll hit you back. Like, okay, can we do smoothies? Sure, we can do smoothies. She's gonna circle back. Eventually, just stay there, stay cool. Just stay there. Stay cool. You still you. That's what dudes they call it, maintaining your frame. Hey man, it's cool. This is what I'm doing. I'm not taking you. I'm not gonna go out and spend $800 on a night out with you and I don't know you. I'm not gonna do that. And you see all the TikToks and you see all the YouTube channels talking about this thing, right? A lot of dudes, and it's not the top tier dudes, because they don't care. If you're a top tier dude, if you the alpha Chad, the Tyrone or whatever, or if you're the dude with the money and all that, they don't care where those guys take them. They gonna be with the dude. They want his genes. If you a bottom 80 guy and you're like, nah, love, I'll take you over here. I can get to know you first. You know what I mean? Something like that. Have good conversation. Take her to an open mic somewhere to watch some crazy comedy, or take her, to an art exhibit that's free. Oh my God, he has culture. You dig? So, these guys say they want these dimes or whatnot. I'm like, I don't know if they're prepared for it. I don't know if they're prepared for it. But I know I went off on tangents, but this book right here, man, the Book of Numbers. Get this book. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do an episode on this book. The numbers are gonna blow your mind. How much money a guy invests in chasing women, over a 10, 15, 20 year span. The numbers will blow your mind. Fellas, sit back and do rough numbers now. Think back, how much money have you spent in the past year or 2 years pursuing women? Think about that. And you have to include the money you spend going out to the club, going out to the bar as a single guy, hoping to meet someone. If you joined the gym because you want to be in this gym because this is where all the women are, you got to include that. You know what I mean? I guys, well, I joined this gym so I can, so I can work on myself. Nah, you joined that particular gym you joined because it has some dimes in there. You could have just joined the gym around the corner and ain't got nobody in there. The one that gives you a code or a fob to get in, you can go work out in the middle of the night. You could have joined that gym. You didn't. You joined the gym where all the women hang out at. Include that money, right? Include the amount of money you spending on your car, right? Are you getting the nicest car you can get because that's what you want? If so, fine. But are you getting it because that's going to help you get some women? And the clothes you buying, the jewelry you're wearing, right? The watches, right? The bracelets. Arab dudes are wearing bracelets now. Include all that and be honest. Like, okay, how much of that is, if you got yourself a Rolex or an Omega or IWC because that's what you wanted, okay, don't count that watch, right? But if you got the Rolex because it's going to help you get the women, go ahead and include that cost, at least a percentage of it, and keep it 100. Like, all right, because you can get you a nice timepiece. You don't have to get a Rolex. You can get a Tudor. It's the sister brand. And it's half the price, if not more. It's a fraction of the price. And it's the same watch. So if you're getting a Rolex because you want to get the clout, you got to add that into your numbers, right? Just add up how much money have you spent in the past couple months chasing women? I bet you the average guy has spent in the past 5 years enough money to probably put down 40 or 50% on a property. I bet you. I bet you the average guy spend that kind of money. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those. The book enough. Hey, look out for that. Yeah, I'm gonna do an episode on that, bro. Because that book is a must read. You got to put that on your must read or must listen to list. Because dudes invest so much money chasing women, and then chasing dimes, they invest even more. You know what I mean? So I don't think dudes don't really understand, man. I be trying to tell them. Afro Shinobi, as my favorite character in the 40-year-old version said, you putting the poo nanny on a pedestal. Yeah, I try to keep it halfway clean. YouTube is getting real strict on the language, y'all. But yeah, you know what I mean? Afro Shinobi, that story was sickening. Hey, man, it was what it was. You know what I mean? Sister Candace liked the video, support the podcast. Appreciate that, love. Appreciate that. You know what I mean? Cars, car, money is the qualifier to some ladies. It is, man. Not all, but some. Some money's definitely the qualifier. Right? When you were kids and you had that puppy love, it wasn't about money at all. Right? It wasn't about money. You know what I mean? It was about other things. So keep that in mind, y'all. Like, you know, and it's a numbers game. You know what I mean? You go out there and you talk to 100 women, you might wind up with 3 that you can even begin the process of getting to know and all that kind of stuff. And if you all about smashing, all right, you talk to 100 women, I mean, bro, you might smash 5. Maybe. You might. You know what I mean? Really, it's probably even closer to 2 or 3. You know what I mean? And that's if you know what you're doing. Like if you running numbers like that, like you know what you're doing, just being on the scene just to get to the 100, it's going to cost you some bread. Going right back to Aaron Clarey. It's going to cost you some bread just getting those numbers, just running that funnel. You know what I mean? And it's time consuming. It takes so much time to do that. So again, you can either chase excellence, right? Or you can chase women. You can't do both effectively. You know what I mean? So it is what that is, yo. Sister Candace, what is the best course of action to protect your pocketbook? Number 1, chasing women. Number 2, marriage. Or number 3, seeking arrangements? That's a good question, love. I would say the best course of action to protect your pocketbook. And my 3 choices are chasing women, marriage, or seeking arrangements. If these are my only 3 choices, I'm going to go with seeking arrangements. Right? Chasing women, it's just you throwing your money down a hole, right? It's a black hole. You just throwing money in it, right? It depends on what type of dude you are. Like I like nice restaurants. I like staying in nice hotels. You know what I mean? When I travel, I normally, if I'm going overseas on a long trip, I'm normally business or first. That's a lot of money. And if I bring someone with me, if I ask a woman to join me, of course I'm going to pay for that. That's a lot of money. Just for companionship, just so you can hit the Foxy Brown or whatever. That's a lot of bread. So, and yeah, you can chase women and keep it local, you know what I mean? Keep it domestic, blah, blah, blah. You could do that. But I mean, you just, if the long term, if the goal is just to be smash and mash women, just to run a rotation, it's going to cost you money. When it comes to marriage, you know, it's a 50-50 proposition. I mean, it's a coin flip, really. I mean, if you vet properly, you know what I mean? If you get a good woman, and normally when you're younger, I think that the success is probably better the younger you are versus the older you are. Marriage, like I said, it's 50-50 on marriage. And here's the thing. If you choose poorly and you get married to someone that doesn't work out, the you know how the rules work. You know what I mean? You're gonna spend a bunch of money. So now you're throwing money into that black hole. It's the same as running a rotation, right? It's kind of the same. And you lose all that time, you know, with the marriage and all that. And if you have kids, you got, you know, it's just so many things. So marriage is out for me at my age now. So the first 2, no. So I would have to go with seeking arrangements. And what I mean by that is maybe get on the sites. You don't have to necessarily pay, but get on there, you know what I mean, to kind of help you source. You kind of maybe on seeking like those like sugar sites, maybe. Okay, we back. We back. Uh-oh. I was like, what just happened? And ones in the chat, if y'all could hear me, man. I don't know what just happened there. I'm monitoring the channel on my other feed here. Looks like we're back. Okay. So I don't know what happened there, y'all. I think TikTok. I think TikTok is after us. I see the ones. That was something right there. Chinese are after me, y'all. I've been talking bad about the Chinese, man. Been talking bad about TikTok. I think they coming after me. That's fine. I trained. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for them Chinese, the CCP to come on over here. I'm ready. Send your balloons. Send them. I'm ready. I got my anti-balloon systems already. It's right behind me, right there. That balloon get close enough, man, I'm bringing it down. And that is a shotgun, ladies and gentlemen. That is a 12-gauge semi-automatic shotgun. Comes in a 5-round, 10-round, 5-round clip, 10-round clip, and a 20-round drum. I'm not going to tell you the brand, that's my favorite rifle, by the way, shotgun. I'm not going to tell you the brand until I get enough people on my platforms and they might want to offer me some incentive to turn that weapon around so you can see the brand. But I ain't gonna lie to you. That is it. That thing, when the zombies attack, I will have that with me. I will have that in M14 on my back and a couple sidearms. But anyway, let's get back to it. I would go with syncing arrangements. I would go with making a deal with whoever I'm gonna have as my companion. I control the amount of money involved. I'm not going to get married because I don't want to be married to the government. I don't want to take that risk. Again, it's 50-50. And I don't want to spend plates because it's just drama and it takes so much time. I'm still trying to chase excellence. So if those were my three options, that's what I would do, sis. I would go with that third option. It would be a variant of seeking arrangements. And I would basically sit her down and let her know, like after a little vetting process, say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. This is how this is going to work. This is how I see you moving forward with me. And then we kind of do that. And then she gets tired of it, then you get another one. So it's kind of like it's a variant of spinning plates, I guess, running a rotation. But it's like, I want to be with you and you can join me in this and I will have money set aside. This is what I'm going to, this is the budget I'm going to use with this and whatever. I would try that. I wouldn't get married and I certainly would get tired of spinning plates. You know what I mean? So you definitely got to chase excellence. Brother Michael, he agrees, said number 3 as well. Uncle, when I said 1, it was meant for when, yeah, I get it. Yeah. Oh, it was meant for when you said you go for the 100 chicks, 1 will smash you. Oh, you're saying 1 for that. And then you're also saying that now we're back because it's the 1 in the chat because you guys can hear me. Hey, listen, the numbers game, 1 to 3, 1 to 5, really, like 100 women, you might get, you know what I mean? Like 1 to 5. I mean, to do better than that, then you're really that Chad, you know what I'm saying? Like you ripped up. I know some guys who do way better than that. Way better than that. You know what I mean? But they're in the gym. They're like specimens. You feel me? And they don't care. Like they're on a whole nother kind of thing. Like I've seen them set up, sites on dating apps and just let me see within hours how many women are getting out. And these women are aggressive, bro. Like he could say anything to these women online and they're like, okay, fine. Sending him pictures, everything. Like they just want to be with him because again, it's the alpha seed part of the equation. Shout out to Rolio Tomasi. So yeah. That's the way I would do that, Sister Candace. That's the way I would do that. So, and it's another thing I tell these young guys too, man. I'm like, listen, bro, it don't matter who you're dealing with, from 1s to 10s, dealing with the opposite sex is hard. It's hard. It's hard for women dealing with us. We are so different. It ain't easy. We are so different. So dealing with the opposite sex is hard. It takes work. So again, you have to choose which one you're going to do. You cannot build an empire and chase women at the same time. You can't do it. I'm seeing that here, even with this little YouTube thing. I'm not calling it little, but the amount of time and effort and energy and expense that goes into building a YouTube platform, right? It's massive. I can't be out chasing women and trying to do this at the same time. I can't. You can't. It's like, oh, let's go have date night. I can't. I got a live stream. Well, let's meet up for lunch. I can't. I'm doing the DL short. Well, let's get together on Sunday and, let's take a walk in the park. I can't. I'm learning how to edit. You see what I mean? If you do those things, that's taken away from what you got to do. Add to that I'm a single dad. I don't have that much time to begin with anyway. My priority is my daughter. Just like today, we had to come home. It's like, all right, I had to teach my daughter how to clean. My daughter turned into a little messy monster. Like, all right, this is enough. You know what I mean? Now we're cleaning, we're taking care of business, putting her on the schedule. This is what we're going to do. You know what I mean? She's getting older. She got 4 more years until she's legal. Like, let me get her squared away. We're going to be doing some cooking. You know what I mean? We're doing a lot of cleaning. We're going to be, we're We're going to be watching documentaries and talking about what's going on in the world. We had to talk about OnlyFans today because she heard me making the DL short. I was reviewing the DL short, and I asked her if she knew what OnlyFans was, and she didn't, but she knew it was adult content. She's like, is that adult content? Like, yes. And I told her she's not allowed to do it. Like, even, I'm talking about as a grown-up. Like, you're not allowed to do it as a grown-up. It's bad. And I'm going to have to go back and explain to her why. But again, this is it. This is what I need to make. I have to make a decision. Do I chase this or do I chase that? And as you know, I'm in my 50s, bro. Like, chasing women. Why? But but that's me. That's DL Saint. Your priority might be different. Like, you know what? I got the money. I've already done the work, and I want to get these women. Okay. A lot of these guys like, I'm at the finish line, man. I'm ready for them to come smash me. Like, okay. It's gonna take a lot of work, a lot of resources, and then it depends on the type of person you are. And again, that brings us back to this. Well, how do I talk to a 10? How do I talk to a beautiful woman? If you don't know that, bro, you know what I mean? You might want to start with the 4s. Work your way up. Work your way up. Because she's going to eat you alive. And the money there. It's one of these things, man. Dealing with the opposite sex, the sex is hard. You'll learn that. You start at the bottom and work your way up. It's difficult. 4s, 5s, 6s are difficult to deal with. Just like the 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s. It's difficult. There's just levels to it. It's difficult. Right? And then you're dealing with a woman, you're dealing with the 10s, the 8s, the 9s, the 10s, right? Especially the 9s and 10s. They are offered everything. Men offer them the world. And it's all good. You know what I mean? It's all good. Men offer them the world. You know what I mean? Cars got that glitch in the Matrix. Yeah, the Matrix got their eye on me, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think a couple agents were at the door the other day, man. They got their eye on me. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Saints. Yeah, there seems to be 2 Mr. Saints. There's DL Saint, and then there's this dude over here. Here's what it is, man. It's what it is. But we're going to keep doing it. Brother Viking Paradigm, that hookup was either internet buffer, bloat, or CPU overtaxing, throttling. Oh, thanks, man. That's right. Brother Viking's the man. He is the man when it comes to this world. Y'all need to holler at him. You got any technical issues whatsoever, please holler at Brother Viking, man. Viking Paradigm, bro. You know what I mean? I'm almost ready to do some upgrades, and I'll definitely talk to you about it. I saw what you did with Myron the Fresh, man. So I'll definitely come. When it's time, give me some time. Like I said, we just got monetized, so give me some time. I'll be ready to upgrade here pretty soon. But yeah. He definitely knows what he's talking about, y'all. Sister Rosalind, I wouldn't mind marriage, but I don't want him to get half of my stuff if he didn't work. Right? That's how most dudes feel about it. I don't know if it's gonna change, but that's how most dudes feel about it. And Sister Candace, so you have an itch that needs to be scratched, and you turn to seeking. Like she's talking about seeking arrangements. How does a man overcome the potential lack of burning desire, and how can he develop game if getting women is that easy? Again, Sister Candace be coming with the fire questions. Fire questions. So here's the deal. So when you're talking about stuff like that, like, okay, seeking arrangements, you got to kind of, you work the platform like Myron and Fresh say. You're not paying any money. So when I said that I'm going to set aside my budget, I'm not going to tell her that. We're not going to sit down and negotiate a price. In my mind, I got a budget set aside. I'm just going to tell her how she fits into my world. This is how this works, love. I'm going to come see you when I do this. So let's say I'm always in Miami. So let's say I got a woman in Miami. I'm going to let her know, like, yo, whenever I'm in Miami or whenever I take trips to New York, DC, or LA, I'll let you know. And you can come with me if you like. You know what I mean? So I'm letting her know where she fits in. It's almost kind of like the same conversation I would have when I was running plates. You are one of 5, 6, 7, however many I had in the rotation. It's similar to that conversation. I'm letting you know where I fit in. Or I'm sorry, where you fit in with me. And then when it comes to trips, because I'm not a player, I'm not looking for her to pay for these trips. I'm not looking for her. It's not a 50-50 thing. If I'm going to LA and I invited her to come with me, she's going to travel the way I travel. She's going to stay where I stay. She's going to eat where I eat, all that. So that's how that's going to work. So I'm not saying that, oh, you know, hang out with me and I'm going to give you $3,000 a month. Just be ready for me when I call. That's not what I meant by that, Sister Candace. So it's not, because you can't negotiate burning desire. You can't. There's nothing you can do to get that. Right? So with the understanding that I know how to talk to women, I do have quote unquote game. I know what time it is, right? So I'm gonna talk to her. I'm gonna holler at her. We're the Foxy Brown and all that. That's already done. We are already intimate, right? I like her conversation. I like the time that I spend with her. But we're not going to be doing FaceTime every day. We're not going to be texting 4 or 5 times a day. We're not going to be calling and on the phone for 3 hours. We're not going to be doing all that. And that's the part that I would have to explain to her. Like, look, this is how this is going to work. Right? I'm not going to be able to do these things that most people expect. I'm not going to be on the phone with you like that. I'm not doing FaceTime with you. You know, and it's not because I'm running a rotation. It's because I'm busy. Like you saw how my cousin called and I'm on like, yo, can I call you right back? Like that's how it would go. And when I come through, I'm coming to see you. Or like you said, I got the itch that needs to be scratched. Come on up here to Tampa. And I won't pay for that. I'll pay for the long trips. But like, yo, won't you come up here and see me? Let's have dinner in Tampa. And she would pay for that because I still have to have the knowledge that she is willing to spend her money on this thing that we have. Like come to see me every now and then. She has to be like, not just constantly receiving, but she also has to be, you know, buying in and adding value in some sort of way. So you still got to do all that stuff. Remember, you still got to stick to the red pill tenets. You still got to stick to that. And if she's not willing to do that, if it's just all transactional to her, then it's like, you know, you move on. Because if you just want transactional, then go to the Philippines, go to Colombia, go to Brazil. You know what I mean? Go down there, and if you know if they got if they have the credentials, right? If they can get in, bring them into America and hang out. You know what I mean? But don't engage in like the transactional things. So yeah, that's what I meant by that. Sis. I'm not saying that you engage and you actually negotiate a price because she's not gonna. You cannot negotiate burning desire. Shout out to Rolo Tomas. He talks about that all the time. Shout out to Fresh and Fit. Oh, what Fresh says all the time, I want her soul. That's what he means by that. You can't buy that. You can rent her body. You can buy the Foxy Brown, but you can't buy that burning desire. You just can't. Right? So when you're dealing with these women in other countries, if it's transactional, just find your woman from Brazil or Colombia or Thailand or the Philippines who has a visa and, you know, bring them into, you know, when they come to America, get in their rotation. If that's what you're doing, like if you're just going to buy it, I would do that before I enter into an agreement with, you know, somebody, you know what I mean, in Orlando or Miami or LA or, you know, Atlanta or something like that. So that's what I meant by that. So thanks for giving me an opportunity to clear that up. But you cannot buy burning desire. That is absolutely true. And then how do you develop game if getting women is that easy? You're right. The way you develop game is you get out there and you learn how to talk and you leave the money at home. So when dudes come up to me, like, and you know, I do a little bit of coaching now, y'all. Y'all know I'm into that now. These guys come up to me. It's like, yo, you come out in the trenches with me. I'll show you this. And that's the first thing I do. Like, you know, if you got a guy who's like really, really quiet, mousy, he's not good at conversation and this, that, and the third, he's an introvert. Those dudes, I'll take them to the strip club. Now, before y'all go crazy, let me tell you what happens. I take him in there, right? And I tell him, you can't spend money. Like, dude, give me your money. Give me your wallet. And we sit at the bar. Like, you need to talk to these women. They're going to come up to you. You need to work on conversations. See how long you can get this dancer, this professional money extractor. See how long you can get her to sit here next to you and talk to you. Right? Because she's gonna size you up instantly, bro. And this is one of the tools I use to help these guys get their social skills up. You know what I mean? They go running for their money, like, man, give me my wallet, let me get some money. Like, nope, can't spend money. Just talk to her. You can't spend money. Get her to see how long you get her to sit here and talk to you. right? And I'm telling you, for me, that's a good start. Because I can sit there and listen to these guys because I'm sitting right next to them. The girl will be sitting between us. I hear what she's saying. And she's touching all on him and she's working. She's trying to get money. She's working. She's trying to get her bread. And the minute she realizes he ain't paying any money or he'll say, my friend got my money, I don't have any money, boom, she's gone. And then we'll leave that scenario, because we'll do that early. We'll leave that scenario and then we'll go to a lounge or a bar. And I'm like, now you can start talking to some women. You know what I mean? And he's like, oh, okay. I give him his wallet back. You know what I mean? Now you can start talking to some women. You know what I mean? And we kind of do this until he, you know what I mean? It's like the training wheels part. But that's how you do it. You have to learn a little bit of game. You can't go out there and buy it. Fellas, if you're going out there and buy it, those women are going to wreck you. They're going to wreck you. They know what they are doing. If you lean with your wallet, she going to get all that bread, bro. She going to get all that bread. Viking Paradigm as Sister Candace. Seeking arrangements is just like any other dating app. The man's game trumps all on any app. That's true. On any app, including Instagram. Instagram is the new way, y'all. You know what I mean? Brother Mike just start talking. It's more than that too, but yeah, like when I take him in there, I take him into the gentleman's club because you got to let him get shot down over and over and over again. He can see like, wow, I don't know what to say to keep their attention, and I can give him pointers like, say this, talk about that. You know what I mean? She's probably into Instagram. Talk about Instagram. Maybe get her to pull her Instagram out. You know what I mean? Like there's different ways. Like she can pull out her phone, or you pull out your phone and like, what's your Instagram? She'll do that because it's a funnel. It's going to lead you to her OnlyFans, right? Or at least she can just keep up with you and you'll come back to the club. So I get them in there just so they can learn, you know, the gift of gab, just so they can learn how to start talking and engage and know how to, you know what I mean, just use your words to keep somebody around. Like figure it out. You know what I mean? She's over here trying to get money. Use that against her. Make her think you got bread. Make her think you're going to pay. See how long you can get her to engage with you. And once they figure it out, it doesn't take long. They figure it out. They're like, okay, I see. And I'm like, it works the same way outside the club. You got to figure out something she wants to talk about. You know what I mean? Maybe start getting into fashion a little bit. Pay attention to what's going on, what's trending, what's going viral. I don't do TikTok, but you know, look at what people are talking about on Instagram. All that stuff is needed. So when you say just start talking, I get what you're saying, bro, but there's a lot, you know, it's more to that. There's a little bit more than that. It's, just say hi, but okay, what comes after hi? And how do you keep someone's attention? How do you hold that conversation, right? The art of small talk is a dying art form. And that's one of the first things I work on. I teach them how to understand and to hopefully master small talk. And that helps you in the business world too. Brother Viking, there's some things you can't buy, only earn. Facts. And that's what Brother Michael said. No money. You know what I mean? Just talk it up and figure it out. You know what I'm saying? And Brother Mike, he's like, I agree. I'm with you, bro. I mean, that's just how it works. And so many men don't understand that. Dudes in the bottom 80 just don't understand that part. You know what I mean? Walt Disney didn't cover that in any of his movies, right? The prince walked up, he kissed the princess, they lived happily ever after. You know what I mean? So there's a lot to it, gentlemen. There's a whole lot to it. And Sister Candace, thanks for those questions. That was spot on. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, we were talking about women and the top tier women, and we're talking about beauty here. They get offered everything. They get offered the world. That's all they need is the youth and beauty. And they're on the yacht. They're in the private jet. They're inside of the Bugatti. You know what I mean? They're inside of the Rolls Royce. Shout out to Fresh. They're inside of the Lamborghini. That's how they're in the penthouse. They're in the mansion parties, right? They're in the studio just because they're beautiful, right? You got to figure out how to compete with that. How do you compete with that? You compete by offering her something that none of those other dudes are going to offer her. You're offering her an opportunity to join your world. I know that sounds kind of like, man, your head done got real big, You offering her the truth. Just, hey, you can join my world. Especially, I mean, if you got yourself together, you a good talker, right? You understand, you've mastered small talk. You know what I'm saying? You got some game about you. She's going to be intrigued. You say no, whereas all the other dudes are saying yes. They'll take her to the casino and give her $1,500 just to run $1,500 at the blackjack table or the craps table just to have fun. You ain't doing that. You might sit her down and say, hey, let me show you how to really play blackjack, right? Next time you get that table, cut a deal with dudes, say, hey, I get to keep the winnings and I can show you how to run this is here's the strategy behind blackjack. And now you're teaching her something, right? And shout out to Myron and Fresh on Fresh and Fit. What do they say? If a woman is listening to you, you could teach her something, you're automatically in a position of leadership. She trusts you to some degree. It could be that. You know what I mean? You could teach her weapons. Right? When I was young, I was real successful taking women to the range with me. I had no idea it worked like that, but boy, oh boy, they got excited. Blew my mind. I was just going to the range anyway. Just bought one extra box of ammo. That's all I did. Man, that box of ammo went a long way. And it was still cheaper than dinner. That's back when ammo was cheap. You know what I mean? It was cheap back then. Now, not so much. I think dinner is probably less expensive than ammo right now, depending on what you're firing. Like when I take the AK out, 7.62, that stuff costs a lot of money. But anyway, that's what I tell these guys, man. You know what I mean? So like I said, this was going to be a short one. You know what I mean? It's definitely going to be a short one. How do you talk to a dime just like you talk to everybody else? End of the day, that's how you talk to a 10. But remember everything we talked about tonight. Do you really want it? Dealing with the opposite sex is hard. Remember the women, these top tier women, these dimes, they are offered everything. The world is literally at their feet simply because they're beautiful. Right? Women want what they want. If you're what they want, they love, they honor, they respect you, you good. Right? You're going to make sure you're a confident individual. You know how to approach. You just say hi, man. You just say hi, and then you do everything else we talked about. Master your small talk. Get her in there, right? Like the Rosario Dawson story. When she realized I truly didn't recognize her, that was one of the best conversations she ever had, man. She was into that conversation. She was loving life. And the same thing has happened to male A-listers. I got a story about me and George Clooney hanging out. I'll tell you that story one of these days. I'm not going to tell it today. I'll tell you that. I think I may have told it on one of the platforms. I can't remember. It's a great story. I'll tell you about it in the future at some point. We're not going to talk about it now. But when you treat people the way you want to be treated, shout out to my dad. Rest in greatness, Dad. My dad taught me to treat people the way you want to be treated, and things generally go well for you. Right? So that's all I got to say on this topic, y'all. You know what I mean? Like this, it's not that hard. But you got to get out there. You got to work on yourself, man. And I'll end with this. You got to ask yourself this one question. As a man, do you want to chase excellence or do you want to chase women? You can't do both well. I suggest you chase excellence. Don't be like me, right? When I was younger,
You big dummy.
I was a big dummy, and I was out there chasing women in my 20s, into my mid to my late 20s, early 30s. I should have been chasing excellence. I could have bought myself a few properties before I was 28 in Cincinnati, Ohio. Could have rented them out. Those properties would have been earning me money all this time. I was working hard in my political circles, and they gave me information that could have made me hundreds of thousands of dollars. Just being in the room, I was literally the fly on the wall, and I could hear what they were playing. I knew what was going to happen in that town, in that city. And if I had the money, if I'd have kept hustling, I'd have had that money, and I could have been able to put the money in the right place. But I was too busy chasing women. I mean, I did okay, but man, I left so much money on the table had I simply chose to chase excellence. Young men, chase excellence, not women. Right? Shout out to Rich Cooper. So that's it, y'all. I hope y'all got a little something out of that. I hope y'all did. Brother Viking, yes, sir. I tell my girl, I'm going to win with you or without you, your choice, facts. And if you get a woman who believes in you, you get a woman who understands what you're doing, she is okay, under your leadership, in your frame, on your team, she ain't gonna trip, man. She ain't gonna give you a hard time. In fact, when you start slacking, she's gonna tell you to get off your butt. Those women are worth more than gold. You get yourself a woman who is team you, and she's gonna support you. She's gonna add value, right? Because the further you go, the further she goes, those women are worth more than gold. They will make you millions. And don't you dare leave them after you get there. Don't you dare disrespect those women after they put in all that work and they stayed there with you. Right? There are some women out there who do build. If you get one of those women, don't you dare disrespect her. I watched this happen with my man Jay Swans and his wife. I watched them build. I was right there. I was right there. She saw something in him that no other woman saw. She jumped on board. Team Jay Swans until the wheels fall off. And now they living the life. They won. So if you find that woman, make sure you stay with her. You know what I mean? So there it is right there, man. Y'all want to talk to some baddies or whatever. Treat her like you treat the 3s, the 4s, man. Treat them like you treat the 3, 4s, and 5s. You talk to the baddie just like you talk to them. Don't be disrespectful. No need for that. Just be you. Handle you. You know what I'm saying? She might say no at first, but guess what? She'll keep seeing you. And then social proof comes in. She sees how you carry yourself. She sees how the people respect you. Guess what? She'll come back around. She will come back around. Brother Cars, thank you, DL Saint. And chat, good talk. I appreciate that, bro. Thank you, Brother Michael. You know what I mean? Always there, brother Viking, Sister Candace, Sister Roz, and everybody else who was in here. I really appreciate y'all, man. This was a fun talk. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about body count. Yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about. I found some numbers, the average number of sexual partners. I found some research, some data, some opinions. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. You guys will be surprised what I managed to dig up. It's going to be a good conversation. We might even have Brother Hyoka hop in there and discuss these numbers as well. It's going to be fun. Make sure you're out here tomorrow, 6 o'clock right here. Right here, same DL time, same DL channel. You know what I mean? Thanks for rocking out with me, y'all. Really appreciate it. I'm DL Saint. This is the DL Saint I Really Want to Know podcast, man. I'm going to talk to y'all later. Peace.
Darn, that's the end.